Two people, same net worth the day they quit their jobs, 600,000, give or take. Both followed the same 5-year plan. Both hit their FIRE number on schedule. 8 months later, one of them is thriving. The other wants their old job back, same starting balance, same number. Completely different outcome. Nobody talks about why, because everybody's obsessed with the number, for not what happens after it. That gap, that's the whole video. Stick around, because the habits that actually separate them have nothing to do with how much money either of them has. Subscribe now, so you're not the one guessing which path you're already on. Interest in early retirement just exploded. 37% of Americans now say they want it, up from 24% a year ago. Gen Z wants it most of all. 53% say they're already part of the movement, but 32% of them have $0 saved for retirement. Nothing. Most of the ones who do save are putting away less than 10% of their paycheck. The average American saves 3.6% of income. FIRE requires 50 to 75. That gap is the entire game, not income. The space between what you earn and what you spend. The number itself is simple. Multiply your annual spending by 25. Spend $60,000 a year and it's $1.5 million. Spend $100 and it's $2.5. Save 20% of your income, and you're looking at roughly 37 years to get there. Save 50%, and that drops to about 17. Save 70%, and you're down to roughly 8.5. There are actually 4 versions of this people chase. Lean FIRE, the bare minimum number. Fat FIRE, the version with real cushion built in, and Coast and Barista, the two we're about to spend real time on. That's the math everyone shows you. Here's what almost nobody shows you. The number gets you to the finish line. It says nothing about what happens the day after you cross it. Habit 1. The people who actually get there don't rely on willpower. They automate the whole thing. Paycheck lands. Before a single dollar feels optional, half of it's already gone, not gone, moved, into an account they never look at on a normal day. On a $3,400 paycheck, that's $1,700 a month that never touches a checking account. Over a year, that's over $20,000. Nobody had to decide to save 12 separate times. That's the actual trick. Remove the decision, and the discipline stops being a decision at all. It's the difference between fighting yourself every month and never having the fight in the first place. Habit 2 comes from a book that's been quietly shaping this entire movement since 1992. It's called Your Money or Your Life, and it introduced a number most people never calculate. Your real hourly wage, not what your pay stub says, what you're actually left with per hour after everything work costs you, commute time, gas money, the takeout you order because you're too drained to cook. All of it comes out of the number before you ever get to call it your real wage. Once you know that number, every purchase turns into a different question. Not can I afford this? It's is this actually worth 5 hours of my life? Try it on something bigger. A $400 impulse buy isn't $400 anymore. At $10 an hour real wage, it's 40 hours. An entire work week traded for one purchase. People who build this habit stop buying things. They start buying back hours. Habit 3. They don't quit cold. They test it first. It's called Coast FIRE. You stop adding new money and let what you've already saved compound the rest of the way on its own. You keep working, but the pressure's gone because the number's already on track to arrive on time. Or it's called Barista FIRE. You leave the career job, but keep something part-time, often specifically for the health insurance. Both of those are rehearsals, a trial version of the life, before you remove the paycheck completely. Why bother rehearsing it at all? Because the version of retirement people imagine and the version they actually get turn out to be very different things. There's actual research on exactly what that difference looks like, and it's not what most people expect. Quick pause. Everything so far is the groundwork. What comes next is the part that actually determines whether early retirement works long-term. So subscribe now if you don't want to miss it. And if you're already subscribed, turn on notifications. The next video breaks down exactly how much you need month to month, not just the lump sum everyone quotes. Here's the study that changes the entire conversation. Finnish researchers followed 3,338 public sector employees into retirement and tracked who struggled psychologically afterward and who didn't. 4. 3 factors predicted it: poor working conditions right before they left, a smaller social network, and more risk factors stacking on top of each other. 4. None of those 3 factors have anything to do with how much money was in the account, which means 2 people with identical net worth can land on completely different sides of that data. 4. This isn't a fringe study, either. It's exactly the kind of finding that never makes it into a fire spreadsheet template. It gets more specific than psychological distress too. 4. A brand new study tracked what leaving work actually does to the brain, using over 20 years of national retirement data. When people stopped working earlier than planned, 4. Their cognitive test scores measurably dropped. A 10% drop in local employment was enough to move the needle on memory and mental sharpness. A related study found part of the mechanism. 4. Social networks shrink after early retirement, and that shrinking is what accelerates the decline. Work isn't just a paycheck. For a lot of people, 4. It's quietly keeping their mind and their social circle both intact. And right now, dementia already affects roughly 6 million Americans. 4. Anything that measurably speeds that up deserves more than a footnote. Remote work all at once, with nothing built to replace it, and both of those systems can go with it. 4. Which brings us back to the people who actually thrive. Habit 4. They don't remove structure completely, they redesign it. Stanford's Center on Longevity found something simple but powerful. 4. Retirees who keep purpose-driven activity show significantly better health outcomes than those who don't. That's exactly why barista fire isn't a compromise. For a lot of people, 4. It's the actual strategy, part-time work, a project, something with a start time, not because the money's required, but because the structure is. It doesn't have to be complicated. A few hours a week, 4. Tied to something with actual structure is enough to matter. It keeps the social contact the Finnish study flagged as protective. 4. And it keeps the cognitive engagement the newer research says matters just as much. Same early retirement. Completely different shape, because the structure never actually disappeared. 4. Habit 5 follows directly from the Finnish data. They protect their social circle on purpose, before they need it, not after. Work quietly hands you a social life you didn't have to build. Co-workers. 4. Small talk, a reason to leave the house on a schedule. Take the job away, and unless something's already built to replace it, that entire system disappears with it. 4. The ones who thrive already have that something built. A standing group, a regular class, a commitment on the calendar that isn't optional. 4. Most people build their social life around their job by accident. The ones who retire well build it on purpose instead. It looks small on paper. 4. The research says it's one of the biggest predictors there is. So here's the actual formula, and it's not the one anyone puts in a spreadsheet. 25 times your expenses gets you permission to leave. 4. It doesn't get you a life on the other side of leaving. That's what actually separated the 2 people from the start of this video. Not the number. The rehearsal, if you're chasing this number yourself. 4. Start building the other half now, while you've still got a paycheck to build it around. 4. That's the real difference between the 2 paths at the start of this video. And now you know exactly which one you're building. 4. Subscribe for the actual month-to-month number breakdown next. The one influencers keep skipping. See you in the next one.